has one of the most diverse species of birds in the world who come and nest here. And of course, this is the Mukran. We have one of the highest populations of dolphins and whales in the world, and they all are no more than about 1 hour away from our city where we live, Karachi. And this, in fact, is right around Ormara. So you can see this. Everybody is familiar with the beauty of Balochistan, which I believe is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Is very little known. The beauty of the north, people have seen. So let me share with you what is the global pharma market. The global pharma market is worth almost about $785 billion, and it is growing at about 7% per year. The North American market consists of about 42% of the global sales. They are, of course, 6% of the world population. They constitute about 6% of the world population, but they constitute about 42%. They consume 42% of the medicines in the world. So it's a healthy population and an unhealthy population. And Europe, of course, is about 31%. Japan is 9%. Asia Pacific is 10%, and Latin America is about 8%. And that is about total of, by 2011, it'll be about $950 billion, close to about $1,000 billion, touching about $1 trillion. So it's a very, very important industry. The global pharma market is expected to exceed to this. Global pharma market growth in mature markets, it has slowed down to 1 to 2%, but in the emerging markets, such as our markets, it's growing at about 14 to 15%. And all molecules worth about $235 billion will go off patent in the next 5 to 10 years. The pharma market comprises of two types: research brands, and then those brands, they go off patent after about 20 years of their life, and then they become generic brands. Getz Pharma is a branded generic company. We'll share more about it. This yellow graph that you see, this is the growth of the total pharma market. But if you look at the branded generics, they are growing at about 15% in the world. So the branded generic, the generic markets are a very high growth market, and about 75% of the prescriptions generated in Europe today are for generic medicines. I'm going to share with you a list of the generic companies in the region, which are now coming back from the world to the region, and we'll show you a little bit about Pakistan too. One of the largest generic companies in the region are Ranbaxy in India. It was established in 1961, and it has a sales revenues of about $1.6 billion. It was recently sold to a Japanese company for about $5 billion, $4 to $5 billion. Dr. Reddy's India was established in 1984. It has sales of about $1.4 billion. Cipla is about $1 billion. It was established in 1935, and United Labs Philippines has about $550 million. It was established in 1945. And Getz Pharma Pakistan has a sales of about $116 million, and it was only established about 15 years ago in 1995. And if you look at the 5-year aggregate annual growth rates, you'll see that we're growing at 30%, where some of these giants are growing at about 10 to 20%. In terms of the Pakistan pharma market is about 123 billion rupees, and it is growing roughly at about an aggregate annual growth rate of about 14%. Last year it grew at about 13%. So this is the market where we are. It is a highly competitive market. There are 29 research companies in Pakistan. Generally, they're known as here multinational companies. And then there are branded generic companies. There are 638 branded generic companies producing about 7,000 products. So you can imagine that it's a highly competitive, very intensely competitive market. For every brand that we have in the market, Getz Pharma has in the market, there are about 100 to 200 brands. And everybody is striving getting smarter every day, and so it is a really highly competitive market and industry. Pakistan pharma industry, there are a total of 665 pharma companies, 455 registered manufacturing units, including 29 multinationals. And like I said, 123 billion rupees. It's a highly regulated industry. There's highly educated manpower. It has the lowest prices in the world, contrary to popular belief, thanks to our wonderful media. The Pakistani pharmaceutical prices are the lowest in the world. We have had no price increase for the last 9 years. And again, we are living in adversity. And of course, Pakistan has the highest infrastructure cost in the world. Just to give you one example, Pakistan, the power rate is about anywhere from 19 to 21 cents a kilowatt hour. In India, it's 9 cents a kilowatt hour. In Thailand, it's about 7 cents a kilowatt hour. And in China, it's about 4 cents a kilowatt hour. And of course, I'm including the cost of backup generation, because of frequent shutdowns, you have to have a backup generation. So we have the highest infrastructure cost in the world. In the last 3 years, Pakistan pharma industry has invested several billion rupees in the upgrade and has achieved a lot. Pakistan pharma market meets about 90% of the requirements of the country. When I started my career in 1983, Pakistan imported about 60% of its pharmaceuticals. Today, we are self-sufficient with. Pakistan pharmaceutical exports form the 7th largest manufacturing-based segment in Pakistan and have achieved about 29% growth year on year for the past 4 years, which is 4 times the rate of the total exports of Pakistan. Now about Getz Pharma, and then we'll talk about what was the turnaround, and indeed if it was a turnaround, and how did our team do it. Getz Pharma is a research-driven branded generic manufacturing company with a global outlook. Getz Pharma was set up in 1995 as a small company with only 45 employees. Today we employ more than 2,500 people worldwide and about 2,000 people in Pakistan. We develop and manufacture world-class branded generics, and we have a dedicated research and development facility in compliance with WHO standards. Getz Pharma is providing, well, I think this is we are one of the, it's often said that Pakistan has the lowest per capita tax to GDP ratio. We are the 3rd largest taxpayer in the country in the pharmaceutical sector. And I'm told that these 3 companies contribute about 90% of the total taxes paid in the pharmaceutical sector. So we are a good corporate citizen. There are, as I told you, there are 450 manufacturing companies. There are 680 companies, but we're the 3rd largest taxpayer in the country. Well, let's go through our just a little. Some of what we have done. In 1995, when we were set up, we acquired a small company in the city. Our total sales at the time was 35 million, and today our sales are about. In 2010, we plan to have sales of about 10 billion rupees. So in a short period of 15 years, we have grown our revenues from 35 million to about 10 billion rupees. This is, of course, both our local sales and what we generate out of exports. We had, when we started, about 45 employees, and today we have a total of about 2,500 employees. From operations in one country, we now have operations in about 20 countries, right out of Pakistan, right out of our head office in Karachi, and we largely do most of our marketing strategies, product development. Every pack sold in those 20 countries is manufactured at our facility in Karachi. We had 4 products when we acquired a small company, And today we have about 364 products in 20 countries. So if you divide 364 by 15 years, you can imagine how many products we were launching every year. We have about 1,168 SKUs, which people in supply chain would appreciate is a sizable challenge. And pharmaceutical SKUs are, because they are regulated and they are highly regulated, they form a particular challenge in all the. Well, if you look at the blue line is our growth rate. In 2001, the industry was growing at 11%. We were growing at 40%. In 2003, the industry grew at 14%, and this is worldwide. The industry in most of the emerging markets generally is growing at about 13% year on year. We were growing at 65% in 2004, 54% as compared to 12, 2005, 51. 2006 at 52, 2007 because the base has become large and we were growing at 22, double the industry rate nearly, and about 2008 30, and we plan in 2009 about 18. Well, from a very small manufacturing facility that we acquired in 2008, we invested about 4 billion rupees just in the last 3 years, about 6 billion rupees over the last many years. This is a time when people are saying don't invest in Pakistan. Pakistan is not a good place to invest. We have invested about a total of about 6 to 7 billion rupees, and picture speaks 1,000 words. These are some of our facilities. We've consistently received the Best Garden Award by the Horticultural Society of Pakistan. So what was our vision? What is our vision for 2015? After what we achieved, what I just from a small local business in 1996 to be the region's largest branded generic pharmaceutical company by 2005. Now, despite a lot of adversity, we had almost 12 to 15 visitors from our international companies arriving here. First we had the news of floods, and then we had the news of these unfortunate things. We couldn't bring them, and as a result, all the strategic meetings that we had and stuff, they got disturbed. So, but still I think we have to stay positive. I think we still have a lot going for us. We have one of the best workforce in the world. I've worked in about 7 countries in the world, and I firmly believe that we have the best, most talented, most hardworking managers that I've seen in 7 countries that I've worked. Of course, there's the other extreme too, but that's what HR is all about. And that's the challenge of the management, to make sure that their best remain with you. So I think this is our vision, and this is our reality and dream. Some of the countries that you'll see here in blue, these are some of our countries where we are exporting, and I didn't say that yet, but it'll come about that this one single company accounts for about 40% of the total exports out of this country, pharmaceutical exports of this country. So there have been companies here which have been around for 40 years. In 15 years, Getz Pharma accounts for about 40% of the total exports. Where do we export, and where do we wish to export? The green one is our current companies and countries, and the red ones are where we wish to go. Vietnam, then we went to Sri Lanka, then we went to Philippines, then Malaysia, then Thailand, and so on and so forth. These are all the countries that we are currently exporting. It's in Central Asia, and we have plans to go to some of these countries in red. And this is how I didn't realize till I painted this, we painted this, that how big Russia is. So this this is Russia, and of course